So let's go.
Yeah.
So dear business partner and friends, another authentic video shot from Zeman in our world of innovations. This time I would like to show you again new machines, what we are currently building. We are fully operational in Zeman. We never stopped working even in these days of the crisis. One thing is for sure and one thing is very certain, that the crisis of COVID-19 will eventually pass. So it's still in the nature of human beings, I think, to bunker down and seek retreat. But I believe there are good business owners in the world. They position themselves in a way to be ahead of the competition. And what we are offering is the innovation and all the developments you will need to be ahead of the competition and to reach these competitive edges. And I would like to also to tell you why it's worth purchasing new equipment, robotic equipment, innovative equipment, what you get in a Zeman company. Of course, we all have to be courageous these days, but as John Wayne said, courage means to be scared to death, but settle up anyhow. So let's settle up and let's see all the machines we have right now. There is again our SBA Compact, which stays idle unfortunately because it has already been mounted, installed, ready built for a Spanish customer. It's good to go, good to leave our company, but right now unfortunately we can't dismantle it and install it in Spain due to the reasons we all know. Of course, the SBA Compact is a smaller unit which is perfectly made for medium-sized, small-size fabricators, offering a length of approximately 25 meters in length, in width 8 meters for 12, 15 and 18 meter long beams, only with a height of 4.5 meters. So a smaller concept, really beautiful for side loading, all-inclusive package, camera system, angle profiles you can work with, platform is included. So then let's move on a little bit and let's see what else we have. Here on the right hand side you see already the SBA Conti, which we built for American customers with the extraction system here and the assembly and welding station. And at the very end of the line, I will explain you also the in-feed, the cross-conveying in-feeding system. But here again, our SBA Compact with the tunnel here. It's also called single rail. That means both robots move on the same rail. The big welding head as well as our manipulation robots, all on the same rail, which allows us to load the beams by forklift, of course also by crane, but the accessibility to the line by forklift is really great. But again, coming back to the question, why purchasing right now? There are many reasons, and I know it from all the discussions I'm having with customers right now. For instance, the strength of the currency. I mean, if you see the American dollar, if you see the Australian dollar, I believe the American dollar right now is really strong. If I see the comparison to the euro, it definitely makes sense to focus on the exchange rate, especially by knowing that we have a delivery time right now 6 to 8 months. And off the back of the Chinese recovery, I believe there is a good reason to see the currency exchange rate even with a perspective within the next few months. Then again, one of the reasons is the higher rating these days. Higher rating while you long for a good finance. I definitely believe while you're seeking for finance, it's most desirable to do that these days. Why? Because the financial year 2019, most probably 2020, might be a little bit better than 2021. So if you seek for financing, the terms, the conditions in these days might be a lot better than the future, the close future will show us. What are the reasons? Again, automation, efficiency. I mean, this is definitely the key in the future. We see most probably a lot of companies leaner and meaner in the future. That means they will focus on automation. They will focus on saving costs, being more accurate in assembling and welding, protect even their people. A lot of my customers worldwide, what they say is the robot is definitely protecting my guy. One guy is working on a machine at a height of 6 feet, working in his surrounding, very protective against social distancing, let's say, and that definitely makes sense. Most of the machines we sold, and there are more than 60 now worldwide, are running on full capacity. Robotic systems are definitely protecting your employee's life. So please, let's go on for the welding cell. We have the Terminator. Now it's the third version already. We can build it in E-type, that means extendable type, with an opening here in the welding head. That means for future, the welding cell could be extended to an SBA Compact for assembling also. This is now designed for weld out only. Multi-pass layers, of course. We have flippers as rotators with a maximum width for the beams of 760. Beautiful system. This might already go to Mexico in the very near future. And then we see our scanning and plate sorting unit, which has already been built for Japan. So this Mexico, then we have Spain here. This goes to our friend to America, and this might go to Japan, scanning and plate sorting unit. I'd like to show you the control units. We have to keep distance, so we have to be a little bit careful here. The scanning and plate sorting unit is actually a beautiful machine because it's measuring the quality. You can trace the plates, and let's say there is a company having 10,000 tons capacity. You easily can say 10% of your overall capacity are roughly then 1,000 tons a year. And we know an average, I would say 5 kilos per plate. This is by experience the average weight of one single plate, which leads you to 200,000 plates in your yearly capacity. And you have to handle 200,000 plates in your factory. And this machine gives you the chance to check the quality, trace down the plates, no plate gets lost when you apply such kind of machines. Let's get a little bit closer here. Hi guys. So we have to keep distance here. Our government tells us to keep a distance in the size of a baby elephant. I have no ideas why they come up with a baby elephant, but at least this is the way what we have to keep here. But I think it's better for you, my friend, to come along with me. And this gentleman will pick up the plates, put it on the conveyor. We have a sequence of approximately 15 seconds plate by plate. You see the scanning line over there. It scans the plate up to a weight of 90 kilos. And here you see the overview of our control unit. That means you have the scanning and the boxes. Of course, you can easily extend the boxes up to 40, 60 boxes for the SBS. And the red line shows you the guided way of the plate patrolling system, which is an AGV. It stands for Autonomous Guided Vehicle, and which is totally new. We call it the plate patroller. You put the plates on a pallet, you nest the plates on the pallet, and this plate patroller goes underneath, picks it up, and leads it fully automatically and autonomously to the parking station at the SBA. You will see it a little bit later, but here you see already the designs road the way to the SBA Conti. So the plate patroller will pick up automatically, without any manual interference, the plates from the pallet stations and guide these pallets to the SBA or to any manual workstations. Now my friend shows us the next screen, which shows the overview again of the SBS. One handling robot traveling all the way down after the scanning, pick up the plate and add the plate into the bins. Here you can select the beams or the parts. That means we have one beam here, and the plates assigned to this beam are already in that box. And when we go to the plates, you will already see that these plates are still open for putting them into the bins, and these have already been assorted to one bin. Here you see the scanned results. You check the quality, you check the accuracy of the holes inside the plate. Beautiful system to make sure that all the steel service centers you might buy the plates from are working accurately, or the plates machines what you have installed in your company are working really well. So the scanning plate sorting unit, it's a beautiful spin-off of all the technology we came up with within the last few years. So gentlemen, let's go to the plate patroller now. Thanks guys. Okay. The one thing what is again beautiful development within the last few weeks, because we are using these weeks very efficiently, is to pick up the plate by magnet. It's turning around its own X, and to nest these plates, put the plates onto the pallet in a certain order. You see already different pallets, and now we show you, maybe let's go a little bit faster. You see the plate patroller here, and I should not cross the way of this plate patroller. Might hit me, but it does not, because he knows exactly when to stop. And there is a prescribed way to lead these pallets to the parking station in for the SBA Conti. You see it's autonomous guided vehicle. We call it the plate patroller. With all these plates on, you can load up to 1,000 kilos of plates. And now this plate patroller goes to the line, to the SBA line. And what we have already developed is a certain device picking up these plates from the pallet and add it on to the working table, to the conveyor, or the stationary table where you pick it up by the magnetic robots. So here we see our newest SBA Conti Plus, and might be interesting to mention that we have a new cross-conveying system. That means we can line up the beams properly in a 90-degree version. Only by press of a button, the operator of the line, he can load up to 10, 12 beams and feed it in automatically. In the past, each and every beam has to be controlled by a press of a button, but right now it really goes automatically in. You will see it from here. By the way, we can process up to 6-ton beams, and this has already 4 tons, the big guy just behind me. Then when we go a little bit closer, we might see the lineup now, the automatic feed-in. If you have a look up to the platform, nobody really is controlling the feeding in of the beams. Maybe we just have to be careful crossing the line here. And you might see that the beam has not been put in the right direction. It's not really 90 degrees lined up, but what automatically the machine and the cross conveyor does right now is to pick it up, line it up 90 degrees, feed it in automatically, be ready for the assembly and the weld out of the beam. So maybe enough talking, seeing is better for understanding. You see that there is still a certain inclination, that the beam has not been properly lined up. It's all done fully automatically. So the red carriages having a sensor on underneath, they will line up the beams properly. Now you see it goes perfectly in the loading direction, 90 degrees angle. Now we go underneath, pick it up, and this is done fully automatically for 10 or 12 beams during the night shift. This line in length, approximately 65 meter, in width we are talking about 8 to 10 meter, has already been designed to extend it to a double-sided line. Built for Americans. Hopefully we are able to deliver the line within the next 4 weeks, when we are allowed to travel and when the machine is allowed to leave us. And what you see here is the core of the line. Definitely it's our assembly and the weld out station. You see the big handling robot. Maybe I turn around this way. is positioned on a bridge, as we called. That means he can reach out to the far right end for working on the future extended double-sided line. Now we go in position with the welding heads. The beauty of this line is that we have 2 welding heads here, and we come up with a new feature, a new update, which we call Synchro. Synchro 2, because we have Synchro 4 when there are 4 robots, Synchro 2 with 2 welding heads, and that means we can simultaneously assemble and weld out at the same time. And all the customers watching these videos, they know exactly that this was in the past not possible, because we had a logic in our software saying assembly first, let's do the assembly job and then start the weld out. But due to of course the pressure and timing and efficiency, we came up with a new add-on in our software, which means that you can do the assembly job and the weld out at the same time. And there are specific beams where you save easily 20 to 30% in time, so are definitely more efficient. That brings us back why to purchase equipment right now. It's the automation, it's the efficiency. So now we fed in already the conveyor table. The scanning will be done automatically and simultaneously with the loading of the plates. And Daniel, who might be well known to a lot of our partners and friends, he is controlling the machine, one operator. Again, let me say that this system has already been developed for a night shift operation. One guy, scanning and plate sorting unit, plate patroller, bring the plates to the station, load it automatically, feed it in automatically the beams, and start the fabrication for assembly and weld out. We are measuring here. Make sure that the position is clear. Even if the flanges are a bit distorted, we know exactly if the stiffener fits in or it won't fit in. We are centering the plate. That means we are never pushing to the left or to the right hand side. We try to find the center inside the beam, just to allow the best gap for closing the gap. We can close gaps up to 4 mil with different welding parameters. We work on solid core as well as metal core, flux core for rather rusty material and mill scale on it. So we fit in one of these stiffeners. Daniel, I believe there is a second stiffener still missing. You can roughly say one plate in 1 minute, 15 seconds. You see the different X on the robot, on the manipulation robot. The reason why we have done that is to design the machine in such a way that we are able in the future to install a double-sided line. That means an extension to the existing line. We have 3 different magnets depending on the weight of the plates. We can handle up to 200 kilo plates, smoothly fitting in, do the tack welding. The software tells you automatically how many tacking points we need, what is the length of the tacking points. The logic in welding is that we do tacking points on one side, the weld out on the opposite side, just to avoid distortion of the plates. And now the add-on, the software add-on, you will recognize how it works. Since we are starting now with the weld out procedure on this side. So you see we are measuring exactly the position of the welding seam. Whereas the manipulation guy picks up the next plate, goes to the rear end of the beam and continues with assembly. That's cool, guys. We have not done that in the past. That's really amazing. So we do simultaneously weld out and assembly. We are able to save 20-30% in timing. Efficiency, automation. That's what it takes these days. Multipass welding, of course, up to 13 layers. And again, focus on the right hand side. You will see only one conveyor table moving in. You see the plates still on. You see the slots, which is a spring-loaded clamping station for the angle profile. But we have enough space for a second conveyor table to be installed at a later stage when our good customer is ready to go for it. We got recently an order from a company, may I say so, Prospect, and the name is really the sign for his attitude. Prospect stands for me for a prospective company, having the foresight, the perspective for the future. And he recently, just 2 weeks ago, placed exactly an order for this kind of system. So again, conveyor table, line up in any order these plates on the table here. Maybe I go this way. And now we lift up the beam. Of course, it's not completely finished, but I would like to show you the extraction system. So that means both rotators move out of the core zone of our machine. There are two devices simply waiting for the beam to come. And you can imagine it's not that easy, because sometimes the beam looks like a Christmas tree or porcupine. There are many plates sticking out, but here we know exactly by software where to stick in, where to lift it up. Rotators go back in working position. That's why we call it a continuous line. There is no interruption since we are feeding in already the next beam to the working station. Totals go back in position, happy to take on the next beam for fabrication. Now we are lowering the beam. Maybe Benny, if you turn around and you see it goes back in position, and from here you can do your visual checks, or you just crane it out by overhead crane. But for another customer, also in Japan, we developed a beautiful system where you stick in with a side loader, drag out the beam and store a minimum of 10 beams onto this unloading cross conveying system. Not easy. I told you there are many plates on the beam, and we have to know exactly how to drag it out and put it on the cross conveying system. So, dear business friends and colleagues, this was now again a short shot, maybe too long shot, of our world of innovation. Let me just convey my best regards. Be careful in these days, be courageous as well, and as we said, let's simply settle up and be hopeful for the future. Thank you.